Back in April, Lil Wayne's tour bus was attacked as he was traveling through Georgia. Performers Birdman and Young Thug have been named in an indictment.
If you had to put your finger on a why Lil Wayne don't like you, could you figure it out?
Maybe, I think it's because he's just been with Birdman his whole life and he's just so spoiled.
They were fired upon by someone in a white Chevy Camaro with an rifle. A 25-year-old man named Jimmy Winfrey has been arrested and indicted on those charges, aggravated terroristic activity. The way that Jimmy Winfrey is connected to Lil Wayne is that Jimmy Winfrey is connected to someone, according to this indictment, called Birdman, another rapper, also on Lil Wayne's record label.
When rumors swirled that Young Thug and Birdman plotted to off Lil Wayne, it left everyone asking why. Both Wayne and Birdman were dominating the rap game, yet somehow found themselves tangled in a situation where Wayne barely escaped with his life.
Shots were fired at the tour bus of Grammy-winning rapper Lil Wayne on the 26th of April. Footage from the NBC affiliate in Atlanta, Georgia, showed several bullet holes in the side of the bus, but no injuries were reported.
Whispers of internal conflicts fueled the drama.
Starting earlier this year, there was a dispute between Lil Wayne and Birdman. Business dispute. Lil Wayne sued Birdman and Cash Money, saying that they owed him money.
But what really went down? Let's dive right in. So the drama really kicked off before Lil Wayne's long-awaited Carter 5 album in 2014. Fans were buzzing with excitement, counting down to what was supposed to be a masterpiece. This album had been hyped as the crown jewel of Wayne's career, with Young Money fueling the anticipation. Even Drake chimed in, tweeting, "Carter 5 inches back in February 2014, and Wayne himself promised fans the album would drop on May 5th, 2014. But as the year rolled on, the release kept getting delayed. By December 2014, there was still no Carter 5, and a new date was set for December 9th. Fans held their breath, but just 5 days before the big day, Wayne shocked everyone with a series of explosive tweets. He revealed the real reason the album hadn't dropped was Birdman and Cash Money Records had refused to release it. Wayne didn't hold back, expressing how trapped he felt under Cash Money, saying his creativity was being stifled. Apologizing to fans, he dropped the bombshell that he no longer wanted to be part of the label. A month and a half later, things escalated further when Wayne sued Birdman and Cash Money for a jaw-dropping $51 million.
Lil Wayne had a CD that was supposed to come out last year called the Carter 5. And it's been postponed for almost over a year now. And you see there, Brian Williams is the CEO. He's at odds with Lil Wayne, even though they were best friends and it was a mentor-mentee relationship for many years, but now they're at odds. And Lil Wayne ultimately is claiming that Cash Money is holding him hostage. The parties initially tried to settle and negotiate. Negotiations fell flat, and now Lil Wayne's looking at pursuing a lawsuit against Cash Money to not only get him out of the label, but also to push his CD release forward as well.
Back in 2015, Lil Wayne sued Birdman and Cash Money for $51 million. He was trying to get out of his contract as well.
The lawsuit pulled back the curtain on the complicated web of contracts Wayne had signed with Cash Money over the years. He'd been tied to the label since his first deal in 1998, followed by a series of agreements in 2003, 2005, 2006, 2008, 2009, and 2012. The 2012 deal in particular was significant. It promised Wayne $40 million in exchange for delivering 4 solo albums and a duet project. For each solo album, he was to get $10 million, $8 million up front when he started working on it, and $2 million upon delivering the finished product. Meanwhile, the 2003 contract allowed Wayne to create and co-own Young Money Records, giving him 49% of the label's profits. Wayne's 2008 agreement required Cash Money to provide monthly updates on Young Money's finances, while the 2009 Drake letter agreement guaranteed Wayne a third of all net profits from Drake's music. On paper, these deals sounded great. Wayne was set to make a fortune. But here's the catch. Birdman and Cash Money weren't living up to their end of the deal. For starters, they failed to provide the promised monthly accounting updates for Young Money's income and expenses. Even worse, they didn't give Wayne any details about the money earned from Drake's career. As a result, Wayne didn't see a dime from the massive profits generated by Drizzy's music. What started as delays for Carter 5 unraveled into a full-blown financial and creative crisis. This wasn't just about an album anymore. It was a fight for respect, ownership, and the millions Wayne was owed. And as tensions rose, the situation only got messier.
You already know what it is. Free Weezy album coming soon. Carter 5 coming soon. Cash Money.
The lawsuit also claimed that Cash Money completely dropped the ball on registering Young Money as being partially owned by Lil Wayne, an issue that wasn't just a technicality but a huge financial loss. On top of that, Cash Money didn't pay Young Money artists their rightful royalties, which is why artists like Tyga ended up suing the label for $10 million. And if that wasn't enough drama, they also failed to pay Wayne.
Tyga, former Cash Money artist, is suing Young Money for unpaid royalty.
To break it down, the $51 million lawsuit wasn't just about one missed payment. It was a culmination of years of unpaid dues. It included the $8 million upfront for Carter 5, $5 million for failing to register Wayne's 49% ownership of Young Money, $13 million from album sales and shares that Birdman conveniently didn't account for, and $25 million because Cash Money straight up let every previous agreement fall apart. And here's the kicker. That $51 million didn't even touch on the earnings Wayne was supposed to receive from the massive successes of Drake, Nicki Minaj, and Tyga's careers.
So he's saying that for Universal, that lawsuit was saying that he's owed money for Nicki, Drake, the Young Money artists.
Those are his artists, yeah.
This wasn't exactly uncharted territory for Birdman. If you have been keeping track, Cash Money had a bit of a reputation for leaving its artists high and dry, leading to several big names parting ways with the label.
I think the big breakdown is money, and I think it's been well reported over the years that a number of different individuals have left the label because of money issues. I mean, some of the earlier really high-profile artists, all of them have left.
According to some reports, there was even a time when Cash Money was pulling in $1 million a month in revenue. But instead of paying the artists what they were owed, Birdman allegedly had a brilliant idea of buying a flashy luxury car and telling everyone it belonged to all of them. A true financial mastermind move, right? But rather than settle things fairly or pay Wayne what he was owed, it seemed Birdman might have taken a much darker route. Fast forward to April 24th, 2015, when Lil Wayne's tour bus was shot at, allegedly by Jimmy Winfrey, aka Pee Wee Roscoe. And here's the thing. Pee Wee just so happened to be Young Thug's road manager. At first, everyone assumed this was all because of the tension between Wayne and Thug. But things took a twist when Pee Wee was linked to none other than Birdman himself. The two had been spotted together in multiple photos, raising eyebrows everywhere. The shooting went down right after Wayne finished performing at a venue called The Compound in Atlanta, which, let's not forget, is Thugger's stomping ground. Witnesses claimed Pee Wee was there, armed with an assault rifle in his car, and he was heard making some not-so-friendly remarks like, "This is my city, keep around and I'll spray the bus." Clearly, this wasn't an empty threat. The police tried to escort Wayne's tour bus out of the area, but once the bus crossed into Cobb County and the cops stopped their escort, Pee Wee made his move. He followed the bus in his white Chevy and, as promised, sprayed it with gunfire. And if that wasn't shady enough, immediately after the attack, Pee Wee reportedly made a call to a phone number linked directly to none other than Birdman, Wayne's supposed surrogate father. The police also claimed that just minutes before the shooting, Young Thug called Pee Wee several times around 3 a.m. This timing definitely raised some eyebrows. But things got even more intense when a jailhouse recording of a conversation between Pee Wee and Birdman surfaced. In the call, Birdman could reportedly be heard telling Pee Wee to come get this money, which many interpreted as a payout for a job done. Some even speculated that this was the call made immediately after Pee Wee had fired shots at Wayne's tour bus.
Time you come out here and get this money, nephew. Well, my nigga, you done blessed. You done did everything you could do, bro. Yeah. It's an eye-opener, bro. You know what I'm saying? While you're on that strictly business.
Pee Wee was arrested in May of that year in connection with the shooting, and by June, an indictment had been filed in Cobb County, Georgia. The indictment painted a messy picture, alleging that all four individuals involved, Lil Wayne, Young Thug, Birdman, and Pee Wee, were associated with the Bloods gang. It went on to claim that the root of the problem was a business dispute between Wayne and Birdman, with Young Thug reportedly siding with Birdman. Adding fuel to the fire, the indictment accused Thug of making threats against Wayne, with Pee Wee allegedly acting on those threats by carrying out the tour bus shooting. What's more, the investigators found a photo of the white Camaro used in the shooting posted on Pee Wee's Instagram, although Pee Wee tried to delete the image. It was too late. The car was later found at a relative's home. Despite all these allegations and the intense drama, neither Birdman nor Young Thug was charged in connection with the case. Pee Wee ended up facing a hefty 30-count charge that included the shooting, but he took a plea deal, got slapped with a 10-year prison sentence.
Man who shot up tour buses belonging to rapper Lil Wayne pleaded guilty and accepted a 10-year prison sentence.
But this whole situation begged a bigger question. How far was Young Thug willing to go to prove his loyalty to Birdman? After all, this is the same Birdman who had been at the center of Lil Wayne's frustrations and lawsuits, someone Wayne had worked with since he was practically a kid. If Birdman was willing to go as far as allegedly orchestrating a plot against Wayne over money, what made Thug think he wouldn't end up on the receiving end of that kind of betrayal someday? It seemed absurd to think that Thug would risk his entire career, freedom, and possibly even his life over a beef that wasn't directly his own. He wasn't even an official Cash Money artist, so what was the motivation? Was it blind loyalty, ambition, or something else entirely? Adding to the intrigue, Young Thug's rise to fame had already been surrounded by controversy and speculation. His tight-knit relationship with Birdman came at the same time Wayne's animosity toward Cash Money was reaching a boiling point, leading fans to wonder if Birdman was using Thug as a pawn to taunt Wayne. On top of that, Thug's bold and androgynous fashion choices, combined with his tendency to call male friends terms of endearment like BAE and lover, sparked endless rumors about his sexuality in a hip-hop world that isn't exactly known for being open-minded. Thug and his fiancée, Jerica Carle, addressed these rumors head-on. In an interview with Vlad TV, Carle dismissed the speculation, saying, "He's not gay. There's nothing gay about him. On his everyday life and living, there's nothing gay about Thug."
I'm with him day in and day out. He's not gay. There's nothing gay about him. On his everyday life and living, it's nothing gay about Thug. Thug is not gay.
While this may have quelled some rumors, it didn't stop the speculation about his motivations and relationship with Birdman. At the end of the day, the tangled web of feuds, loyalty tests, and unanswered questions left fans wondering just how deep this drama went, and whether everyone involved would eventually face the consequences. Things took an even messier turn earlier that year, before Lil Wayne's bus was sprayed. He threw some not-so-subtle shade at Young Thug during a performance in Mississippi. Referring to Thug's flashy and flamboyant image, Wayne dropped a diss that had the crowd buzzing. "I want y'all to do me a favor and quit listening to songs of ninjas that pose naked on they Motherkin album cover." The comment was clearly aimed at Thug, whose album artwork had sparked plenty of chatter. Not long after, Wayne's longtime ally, The Game, took it a step further. During a show in New Orleans, Game passionately defended Wayne, yelling out to the crowd, "Anybody f***ing with Tune, Wayne is f***ing with me. I will f*** Young Thug up." This set off a back and forth between Game and Thug on social media, with threats escalating quickly. At one point, Thug even posted an Instagram video where an associate sat behind him, brandishing a machine gun, as Thug casually threatened to harm Game. The whole feud painted Thug as someone with a chip on his shoulder, eager to prove he wasn't going to be anyone's punching bag. But this fiery drama was a far cry from how things began with Birdman and Wayne, a story that once seemed like the perfect hip-hop fairy tale. Birdman was like a father figure to a young, incredibly talented kid from New Orleans, taking him under his wing and helping him escape a rough environment. This prodigy would grow up to be one of the greatest rappers of all time. When you think about Lil Wayne's career, it's hard to deny his insane talent. Many would even call him the GOAT, and they wouldn't be wrong. His love for music started young. Wayne wrote his first rap at just 8 years old. By 9, he had already met Birdman and joined Cash Money Records as the youngest member on the roster. But life wasn't always smooth sailing. At just 12 years old, Wayne attempted to after his mother demanded he quit rapping and stop hanging out with Cash Money's crew. In a moment that could have changed everything, Wayne shot himself in the chest. He was only saved because a police officer, whom Wayne later referred to as Uncle Bob, arrived just in time. "Don't worry," the officer told him as he held Wayne in his arms. Wayne has since credited this moment and that officer for saving his life.
"We called the ambulance. A ambulance. Do you not see this kid on the floor with this hole in his chest?" He said, "Don't worry, my name's Uncle Bob." He was white as snow. The that hopped over me was blacker than me.
Reflecting on it years later, Wayne said, "I don't know what racism is. My life was saved by a white man."
Yeah, he was a cop, and my life was saved by a white man. I don't know what racism is.
Wayne's determination to be a rapper didn't waver. At 14, he dropped out of school in 1997 to focus entirely on his music. That same year, he joined the Hot Boys, a Cash Money group also featuring Juvenile, BG, and Turk. Their debut album, Get It How You Live, dropped the same year. And by 1999, the Hot Boys had massive success with their sophomore effort, Guerrilla Warfare. The album shot to the top of the Billboard Top R&B/Hip-Hop Albums chart and landed at number 5 on the Billboard 200. But Wayne wasn't destined to just be part of a group. He went solo later that year, releasing his debut album, The Block Is Hot, in November 1999. The album was a smash hit, debuting at number 3 on the Billboard 200 and going platinum within 2 months of its release. It was the beginning of an era where Lil Wayne would dominate not just the charts but the entire culture of hip-hop, becoming a household name in the process. But like all good things, the golden era of Cash Money couldn't last forever. Between 2001 and 2003, the label saw a massive exodus of its artists, and the reason behind it was simple yet devastating: financial mismanagement. Word was that Birdman wasn't paying his artists what their contracts promised. One by one, they left, but not Lil Wayne.
I think the big breakdown is money, and I think it's been well reported over the years that a number of different individuals have left the label because of money issues. I mean, some of the earlier really high-profile artists, all of them have left.
Wayne stayed loyal, sticking by Birdman even as others walked away, and that loyalty paid off for a while. Wayne entered a legendary run of successful albums, starting with his second release, Lights Out, followed by his third album, 500 Degrees, in July 2002. While both albums didn't quite match the success of his debut, That Block Is Hot, and only went gold, they kept him in the game. Then, in June 2004, Wayne dropped the first installment of one of hip-hop's most iconic album series, The Carter. This project changed everything. It was a commercial success, eventually certified platinum, and it cemented Wayne's place as a top-tier rapper. Wayne wasn't done though. He followed it up with Thaw Carter 2 in December 2005, which was even bigger than the first. The album debuted on the Billboard 200 and eventually sold over 2 million copies. Riding this wave of success, Wayne was named the president of Cash Money Records and announced the launch of his own imprint, Young Money Entertainment. During this time, Wayne and Birdman were inseparable, like family. They saw each other as more than just a rapper and a label boss. They truly viewed their bond as that of father and son. Wayne's biological father had abandoned the family when he was just 9 years old, and Birdman stepped into that void, taking on a paternal role in his life. Their closeness was reflected in their joint album, aptly titled Like Father, Like Son. After Thaw Carter 3, Wayne took a break from dropping solo albums. Instead, he focused on doing features with various rappers and R&B artists. This strategy skyrocketed his visibility and helped him dominate the mainstream. Then in 2008, Wayne returned with what many consider his magnum opus, Thaw Carter 3. This album was pure perfection, featuring hits like Lollipop and A Milli. It was a cultural phenomenon, selling over 1 million copies in its first week and earning Wayne 3 Grammy Awards the following year. By 2008, Wayne was untouchable. There wasn't another MC in the game who could compete with his level of success, influence, and sheer talent. He was at the peak of his career, and fans were eating it up. Wayne didn't release Thaw Carter 4 until August 2011, but when he did, it proved to be another massive win. The album debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200 and sold over 900,000 copies in its first week. From humble beginnings to becoming one of the greatest rappers of all time, Wayne's journey was a testament to his unmatched work ethic, talent, and resilience. However, beneath the surface of his career's highs were the cracks in his relationship with Birdman. Cracks that would eventually lead to one of hip-hop's most public and dramatic fallouts. While the music soared, the behind-the-scenes drama hinted that the foundation Wayne and Birdman had built their empire on wasn't as solid as it seemed. And as history has shown us, even the strongest bonds can break when money and power are involved. Finally, after years of drama, lawsuits, and public fallout, Lil Wayne and Birdman shocked the world by announcing a settlement on June 7, 2018, effectively bringing their long-standing feud to a close. And as if to mark the end of this tumultuous chapter, just a few months after the settlement, Wayne finally gave fans what they had been waiting for years to hear, The Carter 5, which dropped on September 28, 2018. At the end of the day, though, Wayne's story is one of resilience. Despite the obstacles, the betrayals, and the legal battles, he emerged stronger, still standing tall in a rap game that had evolved so much since he first picked up a mic. And while his time under Birdman's wing is a complex chapter filled with both triumph and turmoil, it's clear that Wayne's legacy is now entirely his own, and there's no one holding him back anymore.